found several octopuses in one trap, which usually catches one octopus at a time. He felt this was very strange. So many sea bream were caught that the fishnet seems to tear apart.
Water carries vibrations far more effectively than air, so it's not surprising that aquatic animals are the first to feel the precursors of a quake. They respond in different ways. Some float to the surface, others seek shelter near the shore. Eels collect in the streams, and many kinds of fish respond as they do to the approach of a thunderstorm. They feed frantically while they still have the time. Believes that the stress in bedrock before the quake is far more dramatic.
These electromagnetic waves disturb animals and cause unusual animal behavior. Human beings may show unusual behavior responding to these electric pulses.
In Japan, ornamental carp have long been said to show excitement before an earthquake strikes, giving their owners time to run out of doors. Now research is underway to provide a scientific basis for such anecdotes. Professor Ikeya is testing both carp and catfish, and has found that they are sensitive to very small electrical charges.
Just small.
Need to use their sonar. Their eyesight is quite good. Very often they won't use their sonar if the visibility is good. But I've felt their sonar many times. Been able to hear it. Put your ear in the water and you hear the buzzing. That's what it feels like.
Working alongside David is neuroscientist David Cole, who is investigating the physiological results of human-dolphin interaction. He uses a hydrophone to track the sonic part of the therapy.
Generally, when anyone gets in the water, they're immediately scanned. They can hear it, sometimes they can feel it. That's a low-intensity sound. It sounds like a pair of electric shears, zzz kind of sound. That means they notice that you got in the water and they checked you out, make sure you're all there. In its most intense kind of incarnation, you feel it in the base of your bottom of your neck and in your spine and typically up in the back of your head, kind of a tingling feeling. And when it's extremely intense, it can be actually a bit nauseating.
This beam of ultrasound not only scans the body's surface, making it possible for a dolphin to recognize other individuals in the dark, but probes their insides as well, letting the sender know who ate what, who may be sick, or even who is pregnant.
They seem to be able to discriminate between certain body types, certain anomalous conditions. I've worked with many adults in the water, for example, who've had, let's say, a metal rod of some sort, either in their back or in their leg, and the dolphins use their sonar and home in on that and are very, very curious and interested about why they're getting different signals sent back to them. But I've seen children who are physically disabled in the water with other children of comparable size, and the dolphins are curious about those kids with physical disabilities. They pick them out. They nuzzle them. They're just interested in something that's different.
There is definitely something with the dolphins, I think, that, you know, Sam so wants to be in with the dolphins. I still feel there's something that it's their sonar, I don't know what they called it, the sonar rays, I don't know, with them. But there is definitely something that just clicks with them.
Clicks are indeed the secret of dolphin communication. Low-frequency clicks are used for general orientation. But in social situations, dolphins fill in the gaps by changing to an almost continuous stream of clicks at a high frequency.
All right, this is going to happen.
And with his instruments, Dr. Cole has discovered that when making contact with disabled children, dolphins modify their sonar signals yet again, producing patterns of ultrasonic clicks that are 4 times more powerful than those of the lithotripter. At this intensity, ultrasound can make changes in living tissue, creating a sonophoretic effect. It literally redistributes nerve cells in the brain, producing a measurable change of mind.
Look at you now. Look at you.
Dr. Cole records the brainwave patterns of all his subjects before and after going into the water, and finds that people like Camilla produce EEG records that are better balanced and better modulated after interaction with the dolphins.
If it is sonophoretic activity that's causing cellular changes, and those cellular changes are being demonstrated in the EEG, that means this intense sound field that the dolphins are producing, a cavitation sound field, enough energy to rip holes in molecular structure, is passing somehow into the brain and neurological tissue.
Parts of the scientific community remain to be convinced, but parents are delighted with the results.
We've suspected, I think, for a long time that there has been something has helped after she's been in with the dolphins, her whole change in her personality, her concentration. But to actually see it on a PC and looking at the brain pattern.
But some of it moves us and can have a dramatic impact on our bodies. Shari Edwards knows this. Like a dolphin, she uses sound to reach out with her voice and touch other people.
There's a real hot spot right there. I don't want that.
Shari uses her voice to produce pure tones that she believes resonate within the bodies of those near her and can even help them heal.
And I'm just doing this in my vocal range. We'll go figure out what this
Well, you can feel a vibration in your hand when you make the sound, is that one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I can feel it kind of singing back to me, vibrating back.
Bob Balfour came to her after an accident on his motorcycle.
I went under a truck, and about the front half or 2/3 of my leg was just taken out by something under the truck.
402.
The surgeons were going to cut my leg off, and I told them I played tennis and please don't cut my leg off, and pled with them. I had some of the top orthopedic surgeons in the country that said I would be lucky to walk again.
The surgeons managed to save Bob's leg, but it was still virtually useless 4 years later.
Shari, she did some analyzation with her sound techniques, and actually quite quickly I had improvement in the swelling and the mobility, but over time I've been able to almost run, which I thought I'd never be able to do again.
The audiologist was trying to establish her upper limit and was astonished to find it went well beyond the human range.
This guy came out of the little soundproof room and he said, "What are you really hearing? Because your hearing is just off the scale." And I said, "Well, it kind of sounds like this." And I just let go with one of these sounds in this little teeny room, and his knees just buckled. And he said, "I just felt my blood pressure drop."
Shari's voice has unusual qualities of penetration. To learn more about it, she went to another audiologist, who discovered that she could produce a sound whose pattern was perfectly symmetrical.
She started giving me the sounds, and I was totally surprised because for my period of time that I had been in hearing and speech, it was basically told to us that there was no way that a human voice could bring out a sine wave, a pure tone.
Most human voices produce a jagged sound signature, spiked with overtones and imperfections.
Anytime you're ready. Okay, there we go.
But Shari's voice print is a perfect waveform.
What we have here, what I'm looking at here is something that I've only seen from Shari. And in all the other people that have come through here and have attempted to do this, they've never been successful. So that's the unique aspect of it. It's from a human, and it comes very close to what would be manufactured or emitted from a machine.
Shari believes her therapy works because the sounds she makes generate patterns similar to the impulses which travel from the brain to various parts of the body, and that by firing these at a patient, she is stimulating the body's own natural healing processes. Shari believes that any irregularities in the body are reflected also in the sound of a patient's voice. So she pain in the body are reflected also in the sound of a patient's voice. So she records vocal prints and analyzes these as a way of checking on the progress of her therapy.
Probably never walk without crutches or anything, you know.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
I've got your graph up. It looks like there's some poisons here. Also looks like some of your hip muscles are out. We can run it through the computer and see what's really in there.
Okay.
I see this happening every day, and I still have trouble realizing that this is valuable and a new way of looking at the body.
What appears to be happening is that both Sherry and the dolphins are using sound to restore damaged bodies that are not healing themselves. The truth is that the world is not as simple as it looks. Our eyes are not sensitive enough to see everything, and our ears hear only those sounds that fall within a narrow range of frequencies. There is a lot going on beyond the reach of our 5 traditional senses. But our bodies pick up some of this information anyway, in ways that may confuse us, but could even save our lives. We have access now to instruments that can extend our reach, bringing the invisible and the inaudible to conscious awareness. Much that once seemed supernatural has now become part of natural history, but much remains still to be understood. Life is more responsive to hidden signals than we ever realized. And until we learn a great deal more about the true nature of reality, we remain, in many ways, in the dark. Music is organized sound. Some patterns in it please us, but we hear only some vibrations produced by our piano string.